I'm currently in India, but in this video, I'm taking you on a trip to the UK with a £15,000 bursary, which comes to about 15 lakh rupees. And that's going to be the way that you get your UK work permit. So if you're interested in working in the UK, then stick around. Hello and namaste, my name is Nidhi Nagori. Welcome back to my channel. Now, I covered Europe in the last video and I was really surprised by the number of you who took shots as to where I am. I'm sure you can see a background change again. But I'm still in the same place. I'm in Dalkola, India. It's a very small town close to Siliguri. That's where I am. A lot of you are very smart. Many of you wrote Kolkata, which is my hometown. So Dalkola is where my in-laws live. Kolkata is where my mom lives and where I've grown up. I'm going to be doing videos from there as well, and I'm also traveling to a couple more cities in India, Goa, Jaipur, Mumbai, before I head back, and obviously a few more trips that I'm doing with family. So I hope to see a lot of you and hope to create videos from all over India, my beautiful, beautiful country. But for now, this intro has gone too long, so we're gonna go to UK in the next few minutes. Alright, so many of you know, UK back in the days used to have a post-study work visa, which was removed by David Cameron, who was the Prime Minister a couple of years ago. But when Boris Johnson came into power, they reinstated the post-study work visa and made it 2 years. After that, there have been tons and tons of scholarships for Commonwealth countries, especially India, for students from these countries to go into the UK and study. And a lot of these scholarships don't have the home country requirement. What is the home country requirement? So a lot of scholarships in the US and some even in the UK have a requirement that once you're done studying, you go back to your home country and you work there for a couple of years before you come back or before you move anywhere else. But just with the sheer number of bursaries, grants and scholarships that UK offers, there are so many ways and so many opportunities that you can use to move to the UK. You can get your UK education and you can get your work permit at absolutely no cost involved. I cover a lot of these opportunities on my Instagram and I would constantly get questions about making a detailed video. So I'm hoping that this video will help you. And in today's video, I'm covering the UCL bursary. It's not a scholarship, it's a bursary. UCL is University College London and it's a £15,000 bursary. So what's the difference between a bursary and a scholarship? A bursary is like financial aid. It's basically a grant to enable you to study. A scholarship can be given on the basis of need or merit or any other criteria, but a bursary is always given for need. So if you do not have the financial background to study in the UK, then you need a bursary and maybe not a scholarship. A bursary would be better suited for you. So this is the UCL bursary, £15,000, and it means that this is for people who otherwise do not have the money to study in the UK. Let's quickly cover some of the eligibility criteria. This is only for the postgraduate study, so master's, PhD, anything that you want to do after your undergrad. Now, I get a lot of questions around, I want to do my undergrad in the UK or any other country. Is there any scholarship or bursary or financial aid that I recommend? While there are some, most of the financial aid comes in postgraduate studies, and I always recommend people, if you want to do undergrad outside of your home country, try and do that in the free education countries. Let me know if you want me to do a video around free education country, or there are some countries like France that have some other special arrangements where you can get paid to study. So I can make a video quickly around that. But if you want to do your undergrad for free or if you want to get paid for that, the options are generally limited. For postgrad, the options are way more, and this UCL bursary is also for postgrad. That includes masters or any diploma that you want to do after your undergrad or PhD. In terms of deadline, we have a lot of time, 27th April 2023. I'm picking up this bursary because it doesn't need an admission confirmation. We'll come to that at the end of the video or towards the later part of the video. Now, obviously, this is a bursary for international students, so only if you're not from UK and you're not submitting your application from UK, that this is eligible for you. You must be from a lower income background, meaning by yourself, you would not be able to afford studying in the UK, and it must be for a master's program. Now here's coming to the numbers. Typically, I've always seen 15, 20 or 30 at max bursaries or scholarships or grants being offered. UCL is offering you 72 bursaries, 2 of which are specifically for Indian nationals. And honestly, taking a moment to just talk about that, like I said, the numbers are generally lower in other universities and colleges. Here, the numbers 72 is just extremely high. And because it's not going to be as competitive, I do think that this is a place that you should be taking a shot at. Although they're only offering the scholarship for 1 year, so if you have a 2-year program, then you have to pay in yourself. But most UK masters are typically 1 year. And that's what I like about studying in the UK. I feel like the return on investment is generally better because you're doing a 1-year masters and getting a 2-year work permit. Most countries run their master's program for slightly more and might not offer the same work permit benefits, but of course there are other benefits to those countries that do not accrue to UK. What I absolutely love about this bursary is that the 15,000 is fixed. So just in case you end up picking a course which is say £8,000, you will still get the 15,000. The 8,000 will be applied towards your tuition, and then the remaining 7,000 will be paid to you in cash for your maintenance. Keep in mind that this is not a merit-based bursary, this is a need-based bursary. So if you have a genuine financial need, it really won't matter how amazing a student you are. Of course, your application will make a lot of difference, but because this is a need-based bursary, if you are more needy, if you need the financial aid more than someone else who might have a better application than you, but just because your financial background and your financial standing is not as good, you stand a chance to get it over someone who might be a better candidate than you. That is something that I genuinely like about need-based opportunities, that I feel like they're targeted towards, people who really need them, and it's not always merit-based. The last thing that I like about this particular bursary is that you don't need an offer of admission or like an acceptance offer in the university. As long as you've put in your application in, you can then apply for this bursary and you can try and get it. Now let's talk about how you can get the work permit. So once you complete your master's, you are eligible to get a 2-year work visa. It's called the PSW, post-study work permit, and that is what will make you eligible to work. I do want to highlight a couple of cons that are currently going around in the UK economy in general. One, getting a post-study visa is only 2 years. You need 5 years to get your PR. So that's where the disconnect is. If you were to come to study to a country like Canada or even go to Australia or New Zealand at this point, you would get a work permit that would enable you to get a PR, meaning that there will be no disconnect, there will be no shortfall in terms of the time. But in UK, most people need 5 years or 10 years of residence in the UK before they can apply for their ILR, which is the PR equivalent. The 2-year post-study work permit does not really get you to the requirement. So just keep that in mind, that there is still going to be some uncertainty around getting a PR. I mean, if you were to do the same masters in Canada, it would probably be a little longer, but at least at the end of it, you'll get your PR. In UK, that might not be possible and you will end up needing sponsorship, and that can be difficult. I personally know that getting sponsorships is very tough. I've, struggled with that in the US. So just keep that in mind. That's con number 1. The con number 2 is that the UK economy in general is not doing great. I've made an entire video about the pros and cons, so I'm going to link it up somewhere in the eye or maybe in the description box. Go watch it so that you know what you're signing up for. Please make sure that you always take an informed decision. But that being said, if you're able to get this bursary and if you're able to get financial aid, not just this bursary, but any financial aid, any financial assistance of any kind, I still think that UK is a good option to go for. The quality of education is superior. You get your post-study work permit. You can always, then figure out where life takes you from there. And I do want to highlight a few good things about the UCL bursary in general. The fact that they don't have the home country requirement, the fact that you don't have to necessarily go back to your home country, the fact that you don't need an acceptance letter on your admission, the fact that they will give you the 15,000, irrespective of whatever course you pick and however much it costs. I do think that these are some positive points and something to be kept in mind. On that note, I've covered all the eligibility criteria apart from the pros and cons of studying in the UK and working in the UK and your journey to getting a PR in the UK. I hope that this video was helpful for you guys. I'll make sure to link the UCL bursary link down below, maybe in the description box or in the pinned comment. Do check it out. Let me know what else would you like to see on my channel. Is there any country in specific, any grant, any work permit, or any developments that you want me to cover? I'll be happy to do that. Hope you guys take good care of yourself. It's always amazing to see you on screen, and I hope to meet many of you in person when I'm in India. Please take good care of yourself. I'll see you in the next video. Until then, namaste.